hello and welcome to 10x Your Life. It's as amazing that you're on board. I'm really grateful. Thank you very much. And don't you feel that it is actually time for you to learn how to earn what you're worth? And whilst at the same time being able to create more time for your family. I know sometimes, you feel that it's at the cost of your family, you can create this amazing career. But do you know what? It doesn't have to be that way. And I absolutely love the fact that it doesn't have to be. So while I'm waiting for a few people to come on board, I suggest that you go and get some water. We're going to be about 45 minutes. I really will honour your time and just make sure that we do it most efficiently. So, as I said, grab some water. It looks like more and more are coming on board. So, thank you very much. So, what is it all about? As you know, I'm Karen Chaston, and I really, really do look forward to spending the next 45 minutes with you. So we've all come here via different roads, but we're all together at the moment, which is fantastic. So in order for us to get here, as I said, we've travelled many, many different roads, collecting different information, different beliefs, different ways of doing things, and different strategies on how to actually get ourselves to where we are now. So I'd like to, for the next 45 minutes, actually park all of those beliefs and strategies and perspectives just to the side, leave it at the door, so to speak. Only because I'm about to talk to you about different things, a different way of looking at life, a different probably concept that you've probably never even really thought about, because at the moment you're sort of thinking, well, I got here, I know what I'm doing. Maybe you've bought into a whole lot of outdated strategies. Let's face it, we live in the most information age of all time. So maybe it's time for us to look at some different information that we can adopt, or we can ignore, or we can just simply listen and maybe embrace the fact that maybe it's a little bit different. So what brought you here today? What was it about the 10 times your life, the 10x your life, that made you think, I want to give up, a precious hour to actually find out more about what this is about, what Karen has to say? So is it the fact that you're looking for more love, or maybe you just want your family to run more, to flow more easily, to be more happy? Maybe it's that overseas trip that you've been dying for and you've been putting off for way too long. Maybe that super car that you've been just dying to have. The dream house, the money, the time, or the freedom, so that you can actually start to create the life of your dreams and desires. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's all actually possible. And not only that, I'm about to share with you a new perspective, as I mentioned earlier, that I truly wish that I had when I was in my 20s. But first, before we go on the journey together, let's put what 10x your life actually means into perspective. Just imagine if you actually had 10 extra hours per week, 10 times more energy, or maybe an extra 10K, 10 times more money, or your relationships were 10 times better. Imagine if you could actually easily, and easily is the most important word in this, 10x the good and mix the bad in your life. What difference would that actually make? Well, as I said, I'm Karen Chaston, and I am a CPA and a former CFO of a publicly listed company. More importantly, I'm a wife, a mother, a really awesome girl, lady, I should probably say, and her wise of wisdom years. And I have actually, over the probably more than 25 years, to be quite honest, I've been, working across Australian corporations, looking at different things. But more importantly, I've now become an author, a speaker, a radio host, and soon to be online TV host. That's right. I've got the face for TV, not for radio. Only joking. So to be quite honest, I'm not really joking. That's really who I have become. I have become this amazing lady who, as you will see, as we go on this journey today, that I really, really wish that I had actually had these beliefs, this perspective, this way of doing things when I was in my 20s. And why do I say that? In order for us to do that, we obviously have to go back in time and have a look at the person who I was in my CFO life. I truly was this person. Okay, I was climbing the ladder, chasing those dollars. And you know what? I did actually used to wear little short red dresses like that, but not for a few years. But I was always looking for ways to get ahead because in my mind, to be successful, it was what you weren't. It was, it all came together, the whole package, of, create the career, chase the dollars, bring them home, have the great house, the family, the cars, all of the sort of things that you think actually makes a successful life. But you know what? In hindsight, maybe they're not the key ingredients that you actually need to have that successful life. So as I said, I literally was chasing the dollars. And I actually, became quite successful. I actually doubled my salary in 3 years. I know it sounds incredible, but I literally, more than 50,000 for 3 years, my salary increased. I know it does sound a little bit unbelievable, doesn't it, when you think about it? So I'm an accountant. It's all about proof. So here's the proof. So here are my group certificates, or for the people, international people who are online, this is obviously what we receive in Australia from our employer to show us what we've earned during the year and, of course, what tax we've paid for the government. And as you can see, I rose from 141,000 to 197 to 250 to 302. But this is who I was. This is the person that I was. I was totally stressed out, eating too much, drinking too much, working far too much, always angry, very competitive, obviously, but I was really, really stressed. And what's so funny about that for me to actually say that, well, not funny, but what's really in hindsight I find really unusual, if at the time anyone had said to me, how do you cope with stress? I would have said, I never get stressed, which is absolutely ridiculous. I was totally stressed. I was using, food, alcohol, all ways to numb me, all ways to actually help me get through the day, to actually get through the week. And I like to refer to those times as me living in a Groundhog Day days, because that's seriously what I was. Every day was the same as the other. Yes, I worked probably 7 days a week more often than not. Would plop myself on the couch on Sunday afternoon in order to recuperate, ready for it to begin it all again. And I literally was a time bomb waiting to go off. This truly was me. Can you relate? Does this sound like your life? And you know what? Looking at me now, it's probably hard to actually believe that that's who I truly was. So, as I said, I'm an accountant. I like things to be proven. So let's have a look at these couple of photos. So that was me in 2007, and this was me earlier this year. These are my 2 passport photos. And yes, I am so rapt that I have an amazing passport photo to travel on at the moment. Isn't it amazing? And I'm not about to actually sit here and chat with you today and say, oh my God, look how bad I looked in 2007. No, I actually honor the person who I was in 2007 because you know what? She was an amazing chick and she honestly got me to be who I am today. But more importantly, she actually gets me to be able to stand up here and say, do you know what? I have lived your crazy mixed up life and it isn't going to work for a long time. Sure, it may work for a while, but it's really something is going to happen to actually make you go, oh my God, what is happening to my life? Who am I? How did I get here? Just have a look at who I am. Obviously, I'm a lot heavier than what I was now. I look masculine. I don't look very feminine at all. And more importantly, though, if you have a quick look at my lippy, for example, I told you it was a passport photo. So I went to have my photo taken and I didn't even put my lippy on right. That's how disconnected I was to who I am, to my authentic self. And we've all heard the saying, Elvis has left the building. Well, have a look at my eyes. You can clearly see that I have left my body. I look disconnected. I don't look happy. And sure, you're not allowed to smile at a passport photo, but it goes beyond that. My eyes are literally vacant. And that's what happens when you actually are over-adrenalized, overstressed, full of cortisol, full of acid. You can clearly see that nothing thrives in acid, as opposed to the photo that was taken earlier this year. Okay, there is colour, but do you know what? Just look at me. I look feminine. I'm not smiling, but my eyes are dancing. They look alive. They look healthy. They look like, wow, she has 10x her life. And I look feminine. I look like someone who you actually want to get to know, someone who you can actually learn something from. And you know what? It is so true. So how did I go from 2007 me, or really, to be quite honest, 2012 me, where I was probably even a little bit worse than what I actually look in 2007? Actually, not probably. I know I was a lot worse than what I in 2012, 5 years after that, than what I am today. So have you ever noticed that life sort of has a habit of actually giving you a tragic event, or a few if you don't actually wake up and listen, so that you can actually start to be happy? Because we're all here to thrive. No, none of us are here to survive. We're all here to thrive. We're all here to make a difference. But we get caught up in what we think we should be doing and think we should be acting and think we should be, this is how you live a successful life. But we're all chasing that, well, maybe when I get this or do this, then I'll be happy. As opposed to actually understanding happiness is a choice. You can be happy now. You don't have to wait for anything or anyone to come into your life for you to be happy. So, as I said, I had to have a couple of tragic events because I was so far into my Groundhog Day days that it took two tragic events for me to wake up. Now, the first one was the Grim Reaper came calling. Obviously, he didn't come calling for me, or I wouldn't be here chatting with you today. But unfortunately, he came calling and he took one of my amazing sons, Dan. He is my baby by 1 minute. He has a twin brother and an older brother, Josh and Ben. And unfortunately, in 2011, just over 6 years ago, my husband and I woke up one Sunday morning to find Dan had died or passed away at our back door. Now, of course, this wasn't good. But at the time, I did not have any time to be a grieving mother. I was way too busy. I was way too important. I was a CFO of a publicly listed company. Of course, I was way too important. And of course, the company couldn't survive without me. So what's the point of taking any time off? And yes, I'm being facetious. Of course I am. Because as we all know, even though we don't want to admit it, we are all replaceable. The company will survive without you. It will thrive without you. It may not thrive as much as if you had stayed, but it will still continue on. There is only one place that you are not irreplaceable, and that is in your own life. And that's why I help people to 10x their life and to come to that realization. But as I said, at the time, I was way too busy to actually grieve Dan, to respect him the way that I should have, and to respect myself the way I should have. So I literally went straight back to work, eating more, drinking more, working more. And of course, this was not good. This was not good on many, many, many levels, as I'm sure you can imagine. So of course, the universe wasn't happy with me. I was meant to wake up. Was meant to be my wake-up call to actually start to create the life that I'm doing now, the information I'm sharing now, because we require to look at a different way of doing things. So 15 months after Dan passed, I was made redundant when two companies merged together, which was the best thing that ever happened, I have to tell you. And of course, if that had happened maybe before Dan had passed, I probably would not have had that perspective. I would have still been very much into my ego, and I would have been very angry and how dare they do this to me. But I am so grateful that this new path for my life actually came along. And that's why I love what I do and do what I love. Okay, so what is actually stopping you from your 10x dream life? And are you truly ready to actually have the know-how so that you can actually 10x the good and mix the bad in your life? Well, what I've discovered, from working with my clients and actually beginning to realize that we put barriers in our way from creating our dream life. Okay, I have come up with 10 major barriers that women especially seem to put in their road so that they don't create that successful life. And there's a whole lot of reasons why these barriers appear, but let's actually have a look at the barriers. And the first barrier that I've come up with is you are always putting yourself last. Now, I get it. We were all told when we were young little ladies or young girls that you are very selfish if you put yourself first. You need to look after others, you need to help others, and then of course you become this great amazing citizen, and of course it is total BS. We have to put ourselves first, if only to top ourselves up. Because when we look after ourselves first, we get more energy, more time. We get so many amazing things. But not only that, we are then in the flow to be able to do what we were told to do. We can then look after everyone else. We can then make sure our family are actually flowing along perfectly, that our workplace is actually getting the best from us and from all their other employees, that you are actually more productive, you actually collaborate, you are healthy, you have enough energy to actually get yourself all the way through the day, not to burn out about 2:30, 3 o'clock, like so many people do. We've all been on an aeroplane where we've heard the flight attendant say, in case of an emergency, please put your own oxygen mask on first before you assist anyone else. That is not just in an emergency. That is in your life. That is in your daily rituals. It's time for you to start to realize that the more you put yourself first and the more you top yourself up every day before you begin your amazing day, you are about to make the biggest difference to not only your life, but to every single person who actually crossed your path. Barrier number 2 is you don't have confidence in your abilities. Okay, I love the saying, if you can think it, you can do it. Okay, you may not be able to do it perfectly and confidently the very first time, but do you remember when you learned how to walk? Do you remember how many times you stood up and fell down on your bottom? Exactly. You've seen it with your own children. You've seen how we're not meant to be able to do things amazingly first time. No one does. No matter how much you think these people do it and they were born that way, no one was born that way. It's all through trial and error. And that's how we learn, and that's how we grow, and that's how we become these amazing people. So just earlier this year, the Women's Agenda actually did a survey with over 2,000 women in it. And for the question, what is holding you back from your ideal career role? Confidence in my abilities, 51% of the people said that's what's holding me back. Not the lack of there's not the lack of qualifications, not the fact that they have to look after their young children, or the fact that they have very little support from their employer. Lack in confidence in their abilities. Now, I always love the saying from Sir Richard Branson. If you're asked to do something and you don't know how to do it, just say yes and then find out how to do it. That's what confidence in your abilities is all about. Do not wait until you can do it confidently. All you've got to do is be able to do it. And we live in an amazing world at the moment where we can actually, within a couple of clicks, find out how to do anything. Okay, practice makes perfect. But all you need to do is to start doing it and start believing that, do you know what? I can find out anything. There's actually an amazing resource called Google. Have you ever heard of it? Right. You can do anything. Just Google it. Okay? You may not do it fantastically to start with, but you certainly will be amazed at how it'll get you to actually start going, do you know what? I did it. Didn't do it perfectly, but I know how to do it now. I can do it better next time and better and better. Confidence in your abilities, you can do it. Barrier number 3 is you don't believe you're worth more money. Now, your self-worth is actually tied to your self-wealth, okay? So it's really important for you to start to believe that you are worthy. You are worthy as much as anyone else, okay? We see these huge salaries that so many CEOs get, and good on them because they asked for it. That's the only reason they're getting it. But you know what? They believed they were worthy. And it's really time for you to start believing that you are worth 10 times more than what you're earning now or what you have in your bank account. You're worth 10 times and then 10 times that and 10 times that. Don't believe that those CEOs' first job, that's what they were earning. No, they had the belief and then they went and got it. As I said, if you can think it, you can do it. Start to believe it and start to know that whatever you believe and ask for, you will receive. And before you know it, you will be on that journey of creating that life of your dreams and desires. Barrier number 4, you're continually comparing yourself to others. Now, there is nothing to gain by comparing yourself to others. And the reason for that is it's not an equal comparison. You know who you are inside and out. I like to use the analogy of you know yourself, and you're comparing your back of house, right, with their front of house. Now, have you ever been in an amazing restaurant where the ambience, when you sit down, everything just flows, everything's connected, and you feel special because you're actually sitting in this restaurant? You feel amazing and you know the food is gorgeous and it's just going to be so healthy and the company you're with is great. Have you ever been into the kitchen in that restaurant where there's steam going everywhere and there's tempers flying and everyone's running around, making sure that everything comes together properly, that you don't actually receive your main meal before you receive your entree, that everything is in flow and the timing is just perfect? Well, that's what I mean when I say you're comparing your front of house or back of house with someone else's front of house. You know who you are. You know how you talk to yourself. You know your limiting beliefs. You know your self-doubts. You know exactly everything about yourself. You know how naughty you can be at times. You know how great you can be at times. You know how lazy you can be at times. And you also know how on fire you can be. Whereas you look at someone else and you just think, oh my God, they've got it all together. They're always just so perfect. And they just know the right thing to say. And they always just turn up and look amazing and be amazing and achieve. Well, they're not. They're just like you. Their back of house is the same as yours. Okay? They berate themselves. They congratulate themselves. They do everything that you do. So now is the time for you to actually say, I'm going to stop this unrealistic comparison because it's not working for me. It's just putting me down. It's keeping me down. But you do need to do some comparisons. So the best person to compare yourself to is yesterday you, or yesterday me, as I like to call her. You know who you were yesterday. You know what you did. You know exactly where you want to go. You know the steps you have to take. You can actually see the goalposts way up there in the distance. You know where you've got to do, what you've got to do to get there. Well, start taking those steps. Start getting there. Start walking that line. And just continually compare yourself to yesterday you. And do you know what? Before you know it, you're going to be so far down the track. You're going to be so close to that goal that you are actually going to go, oh my God, why did I ever bother comparing myself to anyone else? That was so unrealistic. Exactly. Barrier number 5. You don't self-promote. Okay, this is so common amongst women. This is such a crying shame. I don't know. Men just seem to be born knowing how to tell everyone how great they are. And even if they don't believe it, they just say it. And everyone just goes, okay, you may be great. And yes, you are. So what do? They're continually in their boss's face, telling them how great they are, telling them all their wins, telling them how the company just cannot survive without them. And, we bring in so much money that actually you would be earning nothing without me. Sound familiar? Right. Let's meet Jazz. Jazz is this amazing lady who was the first person in most days and most days the last person out. She literally worked her butt off. She was on fire. She just knew how to connect with people and to get them in, and she was on fire. She was the amazing sales machine that you have ever met. Jazz's biggest problem, though, was she never told anyone about her wins. She only told people about her losses. And her losses were like 5% of what she did, probably even less, more like 2 or 3%. But she used to beat herself up about the negativity of those things. I should have been better at that. I'm so sorry. I won't do that. As opposed to similar guys or similar roles where the guys were in those roles, right? They were not even half as good as her, but they were earning more money than her. And Jazz could not figure out why. Can't they see how amazing I am? Can't they see what I am doing? Well, I'm here to tell you that after working with me for less than 6 weeks, she literally got a 20K pay rise. And what did we change? Not a real lot. She just started to talk about her wins. She started to ask. She started to actually realize that, do you know what? Not only did she deserve more money, they were mad if they didn't give it to her because the boss is not a mind reader. If you have 2 people, one working their butt off, the other one seeming to work their butt off. They keep telling me they're working their butt off. They keep telling me the money that they're bringing in. And I need to give a pay rise, and one's asking for it and one's not, and I only have limited resources. What's going to happen? It doesn't take a genius to figure out what's going to happen. So now's the time for you to start self-promoting, especially all of your wins. Don't downplay your losses, but actually tell people, I did this wrong, but I've learned this, and now I've brought this new procedure in. So that doesn't happen again. Barrier number 6. You are going to work stressed, tired, and are generally unhealthy. Okay, this all comes into it. You're not looking after yourself. You're putting yourself last. You're just actually working, and you don't have any tools in order to manage yourself. You're just grabbing quick fixes. You don't have time to go to the gym. You don't know how to exercise. You don't understand why you have no energy, why you're always feeling down. Exactly. You're not looking after yourself. You're not actually looking at your whole 9 areas of your life and bringing them into balance. I'm here to tell you, you can balance your life. All you need is a couple of strategies and maybe a wellness wheel mentor to guide you, to bring you along. Imagine how much more work you'll have done when you're energized, when you're productive, when you actually are thinking clearly. You've actually opened up your forebrain. You are not being fogged by substances, by unhealthy eating. Amazing how much better you'll be. And the barrier number 7 is you're saying yes when you should be saying no, and vice versa. Now, this is very, very common, especially with women. We have a tendency that we want everyone to like us. And we sort of have figured out some silly strategy that if I actually really help them all the time, they're going to like me even more. But the problem is, when I'm helping someone else and saying yes to their requests, more than likely I'm saying no to myself. We all have goals and aspirations. We all have the same amount of time. We all create our own energy. We either up it or lower it through things we do. But more importantly, we actually sometimes defer what we want so others can have what they want. And do you know what? If you keep saying yes when they ask you, they're going to keep asking you. So it's time for you to start to put a little distance between the question and your response. And in that distance, I don't want you just to sit there and contemplate your navel or anything like that. I want you to actually ask yourself a few questions, right? Something like, if I say yes to this, is this going to zap my energy? Or if I say yes to this, is it going to detract from me achieving my goals because I'm spending so much time with the other person? Or another great one would be something like, am I going to get any joy from doing this? Or I'm just going to go through the motions and go, why the hell did I say yes? I so do not want to do this. Now, we've all been there. And it's a really easy formula for you to understand. That if you said no to any of those questions, and I'm sure there's multiple other ones you can come up with, that's when you should be saying no. Whereas on the other hand, if you actually said, yes, I am going to learn something here. I am actually going to advance where I want to go. That is going to take me closer to my goals, even though I'm helping someone else, because I'm going to learn how to do X, Y, Z. So that's going to help me. That's when you should be saying yes. But more than likely, that's when you're saying no, because you're a little bit scared. It's going to take you out of your comfort zone. And do you know what? The longer you're in the comfort zone, the longer and more uncomfortable it becomes, because you know there's something outside there. You know that there's something at the end of that comfort zone that you are going to get a lot of joy from. You're going to get a lot of happiness from. So that's when you should be saying yes. Really easy, simple exercise. Barrier number 8. You believe that a move up the ladder, whether it's your corporate ladder, your business, professional, will actually take away from your family life. Now, this is why so many people stay in that corporate role and do not create their own business. Oh my God, that's going to take so much more time. I have no time now. I don't even see my family. How on earth am I going to do this? Well, I'm here to tell you that actually with some really perfect strategies and a new way of doing things that makes life so much easier, energizes you, makes you this amazing person who thinks differently, creates differently, you'll actually end up with more time with your family. But not only that, you'll be happier because you're actually going and chasing your dreams. You actually don't have that nagging inside of you. When are you going to do it? 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 Remember? You remember that? You know what I'm talking about. That little nagging voice that's going, this isn't what you're here for. This isn't what you're here for. Why are you delaying? Why are you delaying? Exactly. And barrier number 9. You aren't taking 100% responsibility for your life. Now, I totally get it. It is so easy to go into the blame game because then you don't have to, do anything. It's not my fault my boss doesn't like me. It's not my fault my husband wants me to stay home with the kids. How can I go and chase my dreams? Someone's got to look after these children we keep having. And of course, anything that happens in your life, it's so easy to blame someone. It's my parents' fault. They never loved me enough. You know what I mean? They just didn't have enough money to send me to uni. They just made me go and work when I was really young. How could I ever get ahead? Exactly. It's so easy to blame everyone else except yourself because then you don't have to take responsibility. You don't have to. That's right. That was my dog. Typical. Anyway, as long as he's happy. So what it is it's now time for you to stop the blame game and actually start to go the fame game as in, okay, what do I want? What's in my way? How do I go and get it? What do I need to learn? Who do I need to be in order to achieve? It's time to be your most famous self. Time for you to actually believe that, you know what, you are worthy. You can do anything you want to do, and any obstacle that comes into the way, I'm going to figure out why I put that there and what I need to learn and how I need to grow from whatever it is. Amazing place to come from, which leads you into barrier number 10. You are doing everything the hard way. As I said earlier, we live in the most information age of all time, where there is infinite possibilities, infinite ways of doing anything in your life. So what makes you think the way you're doing it is the right way? Think about it. Infinite possibilities, infinite ways of doing anything. Maybe you are doing it the hard way. Maybe it's time for us to start looking at the way we live our lives and stop following the way our previous generations have done it. That's all last century's ideas. Okay? It's time now for us to say, this is how I would like my life to be. Let's figure out how we can make it that way. Because there are easier ways to do everything. So how did you go? Right? Of the 10 barriers, how many did you go, oh my God, that sounds like me, that sounds like me, that's me, that's me. From experience, I know that you've got at least 7. If you're honest, if you have truly been honest with yourself, you have got 7 out of 10. And that's not good. So now is the time for you to maybe, are you ready to overcome it? Are you ready to find out how easily you can overcome them? Or would you like to continue living a life like I used to live, where you are totally stressed? You are totally plugged in. You never have downtime. You're just continually chasing your tail, living in that Groundhog Day days, going, oh my God, this is how you live life. As opposed to, let's have a look at the 10X Your Life Wellness Wheel. Maybe I should listen and find out how to 10X your life. Well, the key is this wellness wheel, okay? So that you can start rolling along and living that life where you have 10X your life. It comes down to these 9 basic areas. And I'm going to go through them, and I want you to just quickly think about it when I talk about each of them. Just think about where you are at, okay? Now, each week, you should be spending time in these whole 9 areas. Sure, you are not going to spend the equal amount of physical time in each area. But the beautiful thing about it is you don't need to. If you take care of all of them, every other area is enhanced. Everything other area rolls along nicely because you are consciously actually doing things to make sure that your life is in balance. And it is an amazing place to come from. So, okay, number 1, mentally. How do you think? How do you talk to yourself? What sort of things are you reading? Are they bringing you up or bringing you down? What sort of things are you watching on TV? Are they bringing you up? Are they bringing you down? It's really is that simple. Are you actually reading things and listening to things that actually make you better, that are leading you closer to your goals? Or are you actually like the average person spending 4 hours a night on Netflix or TV, which actually equates over an average lifetime of 13 years sitting in front of the TV or screens? Are you actually wasting 13 years of your life? You wouldn't believe the amount of people that tell me they have no time. Even if you halve that TV, I've just given you an extra 6.5 years. That's pretty incredible. An extra 6.5 years to achieve what you want in your average lifetime? Wow. Endless possibilities. Okay, professionally. Are you actually consciously taking control of your professional life? Planning where you want to be, when you want to be there, how you're going to get there. But more importantly, are you a person in the workplace? I don't care whether you're a manager, the owner, whoever you are, or the janitor for that matter. Are you that person who is openly speaking up, sharing your money saving ideas, actually collaborating with people, making it light, bringing people up with you? Actually, instead of bringing them down and squashing them down and out of my way, I've got to get ahead. Are you that professional person? Financially, how do you spend your money? Are you wasting it? Are you actually investing? Are you paying yourself first? 10 to 15% of your net wage doesn't go away before you pay anyone else. That is the first basic requirement. You pay yourself first before anyone else. Because I'm here to tell you, expenditure will rise to meet income. It's why you pay yourself first. You won't even miss it. You've never had it. Why would you miss it? Family. Are you an active member of the family? Or do you just check in every now and then? Are you actually encouraging your family to be individuals, to actually go and chase their dreams, even though you have no understanding on why the hell they would want that? Are you actually making sure that you have pleasurable times together? Are you traveling together? Are you experiencing new experiences, different ways of being in this amazing world? Socially, are you an active member of your society, of your community? Do you enhance your community? Do you understand the benefits of actually being someone who can make a difference to society? Physically, are you conscious of what you eat, how you move, the activities you do? You are the only person you are going to spend your entire life with. And you need a body to get you to the end that isn't broken down. Believe me, so many people, I am one of them. You spent your health to get your wealth, and now you are spending your wealth to get back your health. So much easier to do continual maintenance every day, every week, to make sure that you are a lean, mean machine that can get you to where you want to go. Spiritually, are you connected? Are you aware that there's a greater source that we are all connected to, that all lives inside of us, every single one of us? Do you connect to that? Do you actually get guidance from that area? Do you actually sit quietly so you can listen? So you can actually get these amazing ideas so that you can not only improve your life, but the life around you. Emotionally, do you manage your emotional self? Do you understand what triggers you? Do you actually find out why you were triggered by that? Ways that you can stop to be triggered by that? Do you understand our people around you? All of your relationships? What triggers them? What is a great cause and what isn't it? And then the last one, number 9, environmentally. Are you aware of your surroundings? Do you actually spend time in them? Do you actually look after them? And not only the physical surroundings around you, but the environments that you actually mix in. Do they bring you up or bring you down? Are they stopping you from being who you want to be because you listen to the naysayers? Just because they don't understand you, it doesn't mean what you want to do is wrong. It's just different. So what I've done is these beautiful 9 areas of your life, I've actually brought them into the 10 Actual Life Wellness Pillars, which as you can see, there are 4 of them. All about you, all about your relationships, your expertise, and your wealth creation. The first 2 are the most important. You need to understand who you are mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And then you need to branch out to all of your relationships to understand your family, their emotional triggers, everyone around you, everyone you interact with. You need to understand that. Because once you get those 2 right, your professional and your financial or your wealth creation and your expertise will just flow so much more easily. You will live your life in balance, but more importantly, you will 10x your life and you will create the life of your dreams and desires. because of wellness, a balanced wellness wheel really does assist you to take control of your life so you can lead by example, have the courage to think differently, to speak up. You'll create extra time, energy, and every single relationship, especially the one yourself, will improve because you will truly be living the life of the dreams, of all of your dreams. No matter how crazy they are, you will be so grateful because not only that, you'll become the authentic leader in your life, not just your professional life, in your whole life, because you will learn how to embrace your softer side and rock your harder side. You will become the leader that everyone wants to follow in any single area of your life. Now, I don't care whether you're male or female, we all have these traits. Yes, they have been classed as feminine traits and masculine traits, but you know what? We require them all because that is what makes us the authentic leader. Embrace your softer side and rock your harder side. We require them all. We can't live too far in one or the other because in order to achieve the whole 9 areas of our life, we need them all. So now's the time for you to start to embrace the side that you actually are ignoring or you're not caring about. If you want to have that 10x your life, it's time for you to look at it. So, are you ready to actually stay easily 10x your life without it detracting from any other areas of your wellness wheel? As I've said, I'm a wellness wheel mentor. So I'm going to make sure that my clients are balancing all of them. They're not just one or the other. You need them all because, as I said, I earned $143,000 more than the average CFO. And that was before I put my own oxygen mask on first. So now that I'm aware of it all, wow, what huge difference can I make in your life? You will become more productive. Everything will just get done so effortlessly and efficiently because you learn how to collaborate, which is an amazing place to be. That's the biggest problem with the world is we're all just so competitive. We've got to learn how to collaborate and make the place better for everyone. You will delegate, which is amazing because then you're helping someone else to grab these life skills so that they can get the confidence and go on, and then they'll repay it to someone else. It's just that beautiful cycle of life. You will balance your wellness wheel and you will be happier, healthy, and prosperous because you will be living the dream. So I'll ask you once again, what actually brought you here today? Is it because you're living a life like I used to live and you're wondering how on earth did she do it? Like, seriously, how did she get the answers? Yeah, sure, a couple of tragic events, but do you know what? At least I looked at the events and looked at what had got me to where I'd been and consciously decided that was not how I wanted to be. I didn't even like that person. I didn't want to be that person anymore. I wanted to be who I truly was. And I knew she was in there somewhere, just dying to get out, as opposed to going, oh my God, surely it must be easier to succeed at this level. Surely there must be a better, easier way. Anyway, this is who I was, as I said at the beginning of our time together today. Chasing those dollars. Totally stressed. Totally not me. And then you can have it all. You can have the freedom, the money, the time, the dreams, the love, the beautiful family, the house, the travel, the car. You can have it all. Everything can come to you easily when you receive the wisdom, then you follow the easy steps. That's right, easy single steps that I will guide you along, showing you how easy it is to reach up to where you want to be. Okay, you're probably at a certain level now, probably around your throat, looking up, going, I want to be so much higher. You can see where you want to be, but you just don't know how to take those steps to get there because you know in your heart of hearts what got you to where you are today is not going to get you to that higher achieving level. And that's why you are listening to me now, because you know that somehow someone can easily guide you to get there. Well, I'm the person. And that's why I have created this free 10x Your Life strategy session. All you have to do is click on that link, copy that link, write it down, do whatever you have to do. But book in your 45-minute free 10x Your Life strategy session. I am not going to continue to do these free strategy sessions for much longer. But I just want to help so many people, and I want them to actually start to just actually go, wow, she does know what she's talking about. She can help me. She can guide me. I know how easier it will be if I actually work with a wellness wheel mentor as opposed to someone who's just going to look at my professional life and doesn't actually have my whole self in mind. That's right. I have now given you the ideas. I have given you the actual vision that you can actually start to plant the seeds to become that beautiful person that you know you are. You can easily start to grow into that person, as opposed to, and please don't be the person who actually climbs the corporate ladder to actually realize, oh my God, I'm on the wrong ladder. But not only am I on the wrong ladder, I don't even like who I am. And as I look around, I'm here all alone. There is no one else with me. Why? Because I've burnt every single relationship on the way up. I'm not happy with who I am. I don't even know who I am. I look at the mirror and my God, my eyes look like Karen's eyes did. They are vacant. They are gone. Where am I? You don't want to be that person. So now is the time, okay, for you to actually embrace your 10x Your Life wellness wheel. Because we all know, yes, we all know that 20 years ago was the best time for you to actually plant a tree. Everyone knows that. 20 years ago was when I should have planted that tree. And the second best time to plant that tree is today. So now is the time for you to actually just copy the link, type it into the browser, and actually hit Karen's calendar and book in that strategy session. It's time for you to 10 times your life. It's time for you to 10x your life and be that person that you so want to be. You can easily achieve at that high level. All you need are some simple, easy to introduce strategies. And you know what? I'm the one that it's going to be my pleasure to show you how to do it. So thank you for your time today. Yes, I've gone a little bit over, but that's okay. I'm still under the hour. So thank you again, and I look forward to chatting to you on the strategy session. You have an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing you when you have 10x your life. Thank you.